Hey guys, what's up? This is once again Dr. Surendra Kumar before you. I've recently rolled out a couple of videos. I just wanted to help you get the hang of definition, types of research, research design, and sampling method. And I'm just going to do a quick reiteration and a kind of repeat once again on same. And it's going to help, because reiteration and kind of repeating the facts over and over again and again definitely gets them drilled into our mind and kind of understanding, and they are also reflected in our behavior. And we talked about the definition of a social research. It's a systematic study of one's chosen subject to arrive at both new and valid conclusions. I'm going to add another component to this. It is not just reaching new and valid conclusions, at the same time, it is also a verification of the known and old facts, because there are tremendous of studies conducted in any social event, topic, or issue, and the tremendous of studies always we've come across a good number of data, qualitative and quantitative, on any social phenomena. So what we do in our research, when we do for the very first time, maybe as a scholar or academician or a professional researcher, we also do a verification of known and old facts, so that is also there. And types of research, according to Saranta course, we've come across fundamental basic research, applied research, and quantitative research, qualitative research, exploratory research, explanatory research, participatory action research, descriptive research, analytical research, and a little more to this list according to Saranta course. And then we also discussed research design. It's quite important. It's the kind of scaffolding to a research phenomena, to a research movement, when you actually and practically indulge in a research process. As I talked about, like, imagine a situation, be a little imaginative and contemplative in your mind. You visit, I mean, an army without a battlefield, without a battle plan, visiting a battlefield, tries to get into a battlefield without a battle plan. What's going to happen? It's going to be altogether very lethal and pathetic and destructive for that particular army which does not have a battle plan. So accordingly, as a social researcher, when we do in social science our research, we must have a plan. And research design is kind of, a plan, scaffolding support to our research. It is like the systematic process. It has a steps are such as, like, defining your problem, research problem. A well defined problem is half of your research work is already done. When the problem is well defined, half of our work is already done. We've done it. And because we've tracked, we've the map and a kind of clarity and a kind of categorical picture in our mind once we define the problem well. And then comes consideration of time and resources, choice of your field, unit of study, and universe of study. Then you have secondary literature review, which may include conference proceedings, government documents, international writers in the form of books, and international national writers, and research papers, articles, journals, and past theses. And then you've got your theoretical orientation and standardization of your research, pilot study, and then research methods, like what methods you should you be using for collection of your data. Will it be probability sampling method? Will it be non-probability sampling method? If probability sampling method, what kind of sample method? Simple random sampling, systematic random sampling, cluster random sampling, stratified random sampling. If it is non-probability sampling method, convenient sampling, purposive sampling, quota sampling, judgment sampling, or snowball sampling. These are some things I talked about. And then you have collection of data, and then analysis of data, interpretation of data, and report writing. This is what we talked about. I'm just doing a reiteration, kind of repeat and repeat, so that the same thing gets drilled into your mind, and the same is manifested in your behavior without an active thinking. And then comes, we also talked about a very important issue today, kind of, sampling method. Because once we are through and once we are clear that this is how much we are supposed to gather and pool up. For an example, 400 sample size. Now how do we do that? 400 sample size, we have a field, we know the field, we know the respondents, each and every detail is cleared for us. Now, to elucidate this, now what's going to happen? To elaborate, to comment on this, how do it? That's very, very important. So for that, we have a classification of sampling method. First is probability sampling method, second is non-probability sampling method, which I've just talked about. In that, you've got four components, four branches, and four types. There is a typology in probability sampling method and non-probability sampling method too. And now what happens, simple random sampling first is, which is the purest form of sampling in random selection procedure. And the key factor, the epicenter, the very fulcrum, the bottom line is the selection of respondents is on random ground. And then you've got this thing, systematic random sampling, which is quite simplest as compared to simple random sampling. And then you've got stratified random sampling, where you study strata on the ground of strata. You collect at random basis informations and data, quantitative or qualitative. And then you have cluster random sampling, where the population is dispersed to a wide geographical region and locality. And also, if the study is little limited and you just want to study a group, how a particular group or a community or a locality is doing on a particular phenomena, social phenomena or event or issue, then you can also go for non-probability sampling method. Non-probability sampling method does not give you any possibility of sample error calculation, whereas probability sampling method can definitely help you to know to what extent your data differs from the targeted population. It doesn't happen in non-probability sampling method, so possibility of error calculation is not there. So it includes like purposive sampling, quota sampling, judgment sampling, convenience sampling, and snowball sampling. So these were some of the things I've talked in my recent videos. And as a researcher, we must know very thoroughly what a research design is, as a social scientist, as a social researcher, and what types of researches are there available for us. As I've mentioned, basic, applied, fundamental research, quantitative, qualitative research, participatory action research, descriptive research, analytical research, exploratory research, explanatory research, longitudinal research, kind of things. So these are very, very important things. And at the same time, as scholars, we must also be keeping in mind always that what is research for us, what is social research means to us, what do we understand as a social research, as definition, our understanding, our interpretation of or on a social research must be very apparent, must be very simple, must be very basic and elemental. It should not be very complicated, because we must be always clear when we are venturing, when we indulge ourselves deliberately, practically in a research activity, that research is a systematic study of one's chosen subject. We choose a particular subject. Without a subject, we don't just go collect the data. As Emile Durkheim said, we don't just visit a field. In social sciences, we do not just collect data for the sake of collecting data. We mean it. We have a purpose at the back of it. We've got objectives at the back of it, aims at the back of it, research questions to be answered at the back of it. So we do not just go and collect data for the sake of collecting data. We have objective, we have specificity, we have particularity, we have aims and objectives, we have research questions with us, and we have a theme, a research topic with us that we are trying to sort of address. And then we reach and visit a place and a unit of study, and we try to figure out what it is and what it is not for us. So it is a scientific study when we apply a proper methodology. So I'm going to talk about methodology also, propositions also, different theoretical orientations and how do them and all that. So it's going to help us. And watch me doing some other videos also. I'll be very shortly rolling them out and put forward those informations in a piece of video. And I'll pass on those details and informations, be them quantitative or qualitative. I'll just pass them on to you so that you also get to hear them, get the hang of them, and take your personal research and dig deep into the very bottom and find out for yourself, hone up your skills and train yourself up and others also, so that the social sciences research can be very, very interactive and kind of outgoing for us, and definitely cause some good results for us. Because if something is well researched, any social phenomena, any social happening, event or mishappening or any social topic, if it is well researched, half of the work is already done. Policy making, project implementations, proper project plannings, formulations and constructions of projects, and development of strategies and approaches can be well done. And we can be very much constructive, we can be very much authentic in addressing those social challenges and problems and disconnects if the problem is well researched. So that is what I just wanted to reiterate and kind of repeat and throw light and sort of highlight the importance of research and research tools and activities, and kind of what a research is elemental thing. It's actually a scaffolding support to cause development in our society, and that to overall development I'm going to talk about. It's really a wonderful stuff to be a social scientist and social researcher, because you directly contribute to the toward the development of your society wherever you put your hands into. It's really an awesome stuff. Thanks a lot once again. This is Dr. Surendra Kumar, listening and watching. You've given me a lot of love, a lot of support. You've been my well wishers. Thanks a lot, my friends, listening and watching, paying attention. I'll be coming out with another informations and understandings, quantitative and qualitative, in my coming videos. And please, I just request you do watch them and pay attention. Sort of stay with me. Thanks a lot for watching and listening. This is your friend Dr. Surendra Kumar.